From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, every summer, Troy University helps high school students from low-income families make the transition to college through the Upward Bound program. It's in its 25th year at Troy and will be around for at least another 5. Kawana Clark explains how.
Troy University's TRIO Upward Bound is a federally funded program aimed for student success. In June, it was awarded with a grant which will keep the program up and running.
We got renewed for a full 5 years, and we got renewed for $1.88 million. And that's a nice support for what we're doing in that program.
The Upward Bound program received the maximum allotted years for the grant. However, according to Fulmer, it isn't an easy process.
You only get an opportunity to compete for a renewal about every 5 years. But by and large, people who've had it seek to get it renewed, don't get it, and they have to shut the program down. So we're always glad and always thankful when we get it renewed, and we were glad this time.
The grant not only provides extra years to the program, but also gives students an extra opportunity to better their future.
We have so many of our former students who call us or stop by to see us and let us know the impact that the program, just their being a part of the program, how it has assisted them in being successful, how they were so happy to have had an opportunity to receive the assistance with the transition from high school to college.
TRIO Upward Bound serves over 80 low-income first-generation high school students free of charge. Kawana Clark, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And all this week, hearing impaired students from across the state are in Troy to learn ways to help them succeed in life in an event aptly titled Camp Success. Once again, here's Kawana Clark.
With Troy University offering different types of summer camps to students, this camp in particular is aimed at giving partial and non-hearing students a peek inside of college life.
Troy Camp Success is a camp that is focused on upcoming juniors and seniors. It's a college prep camp, so we invite students here. They come from all over the state, and to focus on just giving them that college experience.
The camp is in its 4th year, and according to career counselor Sabrina Wren, the transition could be harder than it seems.
What accommodations they're going to need, because these students are deaf or hard of hearing, or may have English issues, they may have math issues, so we talk a lot about advocacy and how to ask for what they need to be successful in school. Because in college, it's different from high school. High school, a lot of times your IEP is providing you accommodations and you don't have to go and get them. But in college, it's up to you to be the adult that we are in college and to go advocate for your rights. So we spend a lot of time on study skills, advocacy, and then in this career exploration project where they look at their profession.
Communication is a major barrier for someone with hearing loss. However, the main goal for Camp Success is to teach those high school students better strategies to help prepare them for college.
When I didn't know that I was hearing impaired, I didn't know I had to sit in front of the classroom so that way I wouldn't miss information, or I have to pay more attention to other people just to make sure I don't miss anything. I've learned to communicate with others better, and that I need to use different note-taking strategies to help me during school, and different test-taking strategies.
Camp Success will wrap up its week-long program on July 1st. Kawana Clark, Troy, TrojanVision News.
During the summer's impact orientation sessions, incoming students get the chance to find out a little bit about their future college home. And a big part of that orientation is to find out some of the ways students can get involved outside the classroom. Paige Weeks gives us a look.
As Impact 2017 continues in its 2-month-long run, incoming students continue to learn more about Troy University and all that it has to offer. During each Impact session, students gather in the Trojan Center ballrooms where they are able to meet representatives of many of Troy's different groups and organizations.
It shows them every facet of Troy University. It shows that it's not a one-dimensional place, that people can come to Troy from all different walks of life and still find places to be involved where they feel accepted and they feel like they can really pursue their passions.
With representatives all the way down from sororities and fraternities to accounting clubs, students have an opportunity to explore their interests and possibly discover new ones. And just like the sign behind me says, branch out and grow, the Impact Brow Sessions are a perfect chance for students of all interests to find their perfect fit.
Troy has over 100 different organizations you can get involved in, and so this kind of helps you narrow it down and feel which one you feel more comfortable with and which one you fit in better with, rather. And never be afraid to do a bunch your freshman year and kind of weed them out throughout. Keep an open mind, ask a lot of questions. We've all been in the same position there, and we know the nerves you have from it, all the questions you have, so no question's a crazy question to us. We love answering the questions and having you ask us the questions, so don't be afraid.
To find out more about an organization, students can visit Troy University's Student Involvement and Leadership webpage at www.troy.edu/student-involvement/leadership service. Page weeks, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
We'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll take a look at some of the activities taking place during this year's Star Talk Chinese Language Camp. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
If you're ready to have an awesome time, I'm ready, so let's party for the night. If you're ready to have an awesome time, I'm ready, so let us party for the night. We've been hanging on for quite some time. It's gonna be a very long night, and I got everything, so now I feel right. If you're ready, then let us party for the night.
Hey, if you want to be a part of something vibrant, active, and exciting to do every day at Troy University, maybe you should be a part of Troy Trojan Vision News.
If you somehow haven't heard, Trojan Vision News is Troy University's student-produced, student-run daily television newscast.
Want to be on television? You can do that here.
Want to meet people and tell their stories? We've got that.
Want to be a part of a team that puts on a live, fast-paced television program 3 times a day? We have that too.
Already doing stuff with video and you want to learn more? We can help you out.
If you're a broadcast journalism student, you really need to be involved with Trojan Vision.
Like really need to be involved. Your future depends on it.
You don't even have to be a broadcast student. There's a pretty high cool factor in doing this stuff.
A lot of our predecessors even met their wives or husbands here, so the social possibilities are pretty extensive.
Not to mention Trojan Vision graduates work all over the country for places like CNN,
NBC News,
the Weather Channel,
and the NFL Network.
Anyway, speaking of famous graduates, we're graduating in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we've got jobs and internships to get to.
And somebody has to replace us at this news desk. Why not you?
Visit the studios on the first floor of Wallace Hall.
Track down this guy, Aaron Taylor, and he'll hook you up.
If you're interested in television news, and if you're a student enrolled on Troy University's Troy campus, you qualify to get involved at Troy Trojan Vision. See Aaron Taylor, Production Coordinator, 141 Lorraine B. Wallace Hall. Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
For 2 weeks, high school students from across the country come to Troy to learn about the language and culture of China at the annual Star Talk Camp. However, as Page Week shows us, the camp can be educational for both the students and the teachers.
Thursday morning, the Star Talk Chinese Language Learning Camp was in full swing as students and teachers continued their 2-week learning experience. The high school students continued learning basic Chinese culture and language, while the student teachers continued learning how to efficiently teach their future students. One teacher explains why it's so important for students to expand their cultural horizons.
We are united as one village, the Earth Village. So it's like you have to communicate not only with your own people, the people who speak the same language with you, and you will also have to communicate with people that come from different backgrounds, different language.
To better help the students, teachers present a wide variety of material in order to help them connect the words they are saying with the objects that they mean. Through use of items such as pictures of food and fake money, students can both hear and see what they are saying. And although teaching your own language may seem simple enough, it can actually be quite challenging.
Chinese is my native language. I thought it would be very easy for me to teach foreigners how to speak my own language, but given my experience in teaching English as a foreign language to my students back in China, I still found that it is not enough.
One student in particular encourages students who have not participated in Star Talk to get involved.
I encourage them to expand their horizons and just try different things, and I believe that the Star Talk program at Troy University is really good. It's the best because the teachers are very friendly. They make sure that you know what you're doing. They work with you, and then they have a system to where you do something right, you learn something and you get a star for it.
Star Talk runs for 2 weeks and will end with a closing ceremony. To learn more about Star Talk, visit Troy University's Confucius Institute's website and click the link for Star Talk, or find them on Facebook and YouTube as Troy Star Talk. Paige Weeks, Troy, TrojanVision News.
As we just saw, students come from all over to learn about Chinese language and culture. However, this year, some of that culture is being taught by a young man who used to be part of the learning. Anna Kate Patterson has his story.
The Troy University Confucius Institute's Star Talk camp focuses on teaching American students the Chinese culture and language. According to former camper and current counselor Jerry Slocum, the campers are fully immersed in Chinese culture all day long.
Non-stop from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. These kids are immersed in Chinese culture. There's no comparable experience in the United States. And I think it's so interesting that once these kids exit this camp, their ability to speak and just the understanding of this culture, it's unparalleled in the United States.
As much as he raves about the education the students are receiving, Slocum says he thinks he's learning more this year as a counselor than he did as a camper 2 years ago.
I'm getting a lot more of the culture aspect because I'm with the teachers more. And I'm hearing a lot more Chinese spoken, a lot more just of conversational Chinese. And my Chinese isn't perfect, but I'm learning so much just interacting with these people and having the brief conversations that we do.
Slocum spends his days at the camp teaching students the lion dance and the dragon dance. He has been teaching and performing these routines since right after he first learned them, when the Confucius Institute called and asked him to teach a few of his friends the lion dance and perform it at the Chinese New Year celebration in Montgomery.
So I gathered 6 of my friends, taught them the lion dance, and we went and performed, and I've done it maybe 3 or 4 times since. So after the most recent event we had, they asked me to come and teach.
Slocum says he has always been interested in foreign languages and is enjoying taking full advantage of the opportunity the Confucius Institute has given him. Anna Kate Patterson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And as we've seen, high schoolers from all over the nation come to Troy to learn how to speak the Chinese language at the annual Star Talk camp. However, some of the campers come from even farther away, but they're in Troy to learn to teach the language. Nathaniel Rodriguez explains.
The teacher and student programs of Troy University's Star Talk Chinese Language Camp combined Wednesday afternoon to give the teachers a chance to practice their techniques with a lesson on shopping. This is a part of their instructor training, which lasts 3 weeks compared to the students' 2 weeks of class.
Actually, before they came to Troy University, we offered 1 week online learning. We give them different topics, articles to read, and then they can write their reflection. So in the first week, when the teacher came to Troy University, they have something in their mind with some questions.
In addition to learning about the national standard and principles of Star Talk, the teachers also learn different educational techniques. According to Chen, some teachers have difficulty mastering these techniques in their own schools.
We offered some topics about classroom management, how to design their language class, and this afternoon is the time for them to apply what they have learned in the class into their teaching practice.
After the camp, the teacher participants will still maintain a connection with the camp instructors through an online video chat.
After this program, we can keep contact with all those participants. Whenever they have questions, they can email to us. We can discuss about the teaching issues. Whatever they need, we can offer help.
Later in the week, the teacher participants will provide the students with online resources for their own independent study. Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll learn a little bit about the championship history related to one of the namesakes of the Trojan baseball team's home field. His story is right after this.
Oh, emojis! I thought the conversation just got dumber.
Ugh, internet trolls, just ignore them.
I like you just the way you are.
I believe in you. She's a hugger. Give her a squeeze.
Help up the hand.
Ah, there you go. Thanks, mate.
You're killing it, Jane!
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Now back to TrojanVision News Weekly.
The Troy University baseball team has a championship tradition, and while that team hasn't won a national championship for quite a while, the legacy of those titles live on in the name of the field where the team plays. Sarah Drake gives us a little history lesson.
Riddle Pace Field is home to the Troy University baseball team and named after Coach Chase Riddle. But did you know that when Riddle attended Troy University, he played football instead of baseball? Wes Johnson, Riddle's grandson, told me how he went from the gridiron to the diamond and when Troy decided to rename the field.
When he originally came to Troy, he played football. He couldn't play baseball because he signed a professional contract with the Boston Red Sox out of high school. My grandfather came back to coach the team in 1979 and coached here until 1990, won 434 games, 2 national championships, beat Jacksonville State a lot. The summer after he retired, they renamed the field Riddle Pace Field.
Johnson, who works as a director of communications for Troy Athletics, talks about what it's like being able to work at a university where his grandfather is honored every day.
I'm very proud to work here. I'm proud to see my grandfather's name on the scoreboard every time I come out. I come to a lot of baseball games, obviously working here, and my family follows along, and just very proud of his accomplishments and proud that and happy that I can come out and relive some of his memories every time I come to the ballpark.
In 1986 and 87, Troy's current head baseball coach Mark Smart won 2 national championships playing for Coach Riddle. And he talked about the impact his coach had not only on his life, but everyone he came in contact with.
He had an impact on everyone he was around. People looked up to him because of how he carried himself and how he presented himself. He was always very cordial, very friendly, very genuine. And later on in my life, as I became a father, a husband, a father, and a coach long term, I sought guidance from him on several occasions, and he was always so kind to me.
Coach Riddle's number 25 is the only retired baseball jersey at Troy University. Sarah Drake, Troy, TrojanVision News.
This summer, kids are going outside to play different sports, but not many get to learn a sport from professionals who grew up in the culture where it all began. Lauren Harkson gives us a look into the Challenger Sports British Soccer Camp taking place this week here in Troy.
Beginning on Monday, June 26th, kids of all age groups ranging from 3 to 16 came together to learn more about a famous British pastime, soccer. The Challenger Sports British Soccer Camp helps improve and introduce new soccer skills to the kids.
We've got
3 coaches here from Challenger Sports that I think 2 are from Ireland, 1's from England, and they come over and they've got different age groups out here where they teach various soccer skills and then a lot of teamwork and principles and things like that.
The camp was started by a professional soccer player to help promote soccer around the world.
It must have been 25, 30 years ago. A guy called Peter Arch, who used to play professional in England, had an idea to sort of bring soccer over to America. And from there it's just grown and grown and grown.
In addition to learning soccer skills, the campers get a glimpse into other cultures.
A lot of our kids don't get a lot of exposure to other cultures, and so these guys coming over that, you know, soccer's grown in popularity here but still not quite where it is in Europe, and so these guys coming over that just live it and breathe it and watching the kids deal with them and get to know them. They also infuse a lot of education into it, and the kids are assigned different countries to research and things like that during the week.
If there was one word to sum up the Challenger Sports British Soccer Camp, it would be fun.
We're inspiring the kids, and as long as they're having fun, that's what's rewarding for us. Seeing them laughing and smiling, and that's what does it for me.
I spoke with the youngest camper who has a piece of advice for us all.
Play soccer, it's really, really fun.
The importance of promoting soccer is growing with the increase in popularity.
It's important to promote the game because it is the biggest in the world, and it's getting bigger in America now at the minute, so it's good to see so many kids out here today, and looking forward to working with more kids over the summer.
The Challenger Sports British Soccer Camp will run through Friday, June 30th. Lauren Harkson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
That Brooks Taylor was a cute little interview, wasn't he? Well, it's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll learn about how you can help Troy University's Concert Chorale get to Carnegie Hall. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is Thomas. During the day, he works in research, and at night, he's a warrior. Soon he'll have a degree from Troy University, a historic and affordable public university with flexible online and in-class courses, and professors who know their students by name. Do what you love and be great at it. That's the warrior spirit. Learn more at troy.edu/workingwarrior.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Thank you.
You got a king?
Go fish. In your face, in your face, in
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
Troy University's Concert Chorale has received an invitation to sing at Carnegie Hall next spring. We'll learn more about how you can help them get there during this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we're going to find out how the Concert Chorale can possibly make a trip to world famous Carnegie Hall. My guest today, Diane Orlowski, is going to tell us how they can get there and how you could potentially help them get there, because they're going to need a little bit of help. But before we get to talking about how folks can help out, let's talk about how this all happened, how an invitation to Carnegie Hall was extended.
This was really exciting and unexpected, Aaron, and thank you for having me on here. We have a relationship that we've developed since 2011 with composer-conductor Eric Barnum. We've commissioned 2 works from him, and we just premiered one for the people that come regularly to our concerts. We'll remember Evensong. We just premiered this in April. And so I thought, that's lovely. We have 2 lovely bookends, and that will be great. And then I received an email from him back in April saying, would you consider doing this? And I was like, would I consider it? And then a formal invitation followed to next May take the chorale and participate in a premiere of a multi-movement work by Dr. Barnum, in addition to the Troy University Commission piece, Evensong, which will also be getting its Carnegie Hall premiere, which is super cool.
So the piece that was done specifically
for this group,
this group, they get the chance to perform it
in that venue, and so it's very, very special. It's a limited number of choirs that have been involved, about 120 singers, I think, total. We have 36 of those 120. And so it's definitely something that I think the kids they were very excited about, but they're going to work very hard for.
Work very hard, meaning they're going to practice, right?
And practice.
And practice it, because I hear that's how you get to Carnegie Hall.
That's how you get there, yeah, apparently.
I couldn't help myself there.
Yeah, I know.
But let's talk a little about kind of an interesting background to this was that you're kind of, by getting this invitation, you're fulfilling a mandate. And so that's kind of got a little funniness to it, but it's still, there was a mandate by...
It's very special. Back when they were building the new John M. Long Hall, Dr. Hawkins was showing me around, when it was still in construction phase, and he came over and he put his hand on my shoulder and said, okay, now we're building this for all of you. Now get us to Carnegie. And I thought to myself, yeah, okay, Dr. Hawkins, no tall order there. And so it was very gratifying for me then to surprisingly be able to go back to him and say, guess what, Dr. Hawkins, we now have an invitation.
Invitation to make it there. And in addition to the performance, there's going to be opportunities when they get there. They're going to basically hit the ground running when they get there. So.
Yeah, and they'll be in rehearsals with Dr. Barnum for 3 days. And they will have, we don't actually get the music until December, so we'll be starting to work on it in January. And May 25th, 2018, anyone that's in the New York area at Carnegie Hall that Friday night, we'd love to see them there.
Now let's talk about a little bit of the if, because there is significant amount of money needed to get them there, and about how much are you looking at here?
We're looking at about $1,500 per student. That covers the entire thing, which is about $55,000 total. And for that's a lot of money. However, our kids were so excited about the prospect. They're home right now trying to raise sponsorships in their hometown. I'm doing that here locally in Troy. We've reached out to the Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey alums because a lot of our kids work 2 and 3 jobs to stay in school. And so we would love to have sponsors to say, I want to help them, even with a small seed grant. To the Troy University Foundation, which of course is tax deductible.
And of course, and once again, they're working hard, but right now, you've got the viewers out here and anybody out there, if they want to see this dream fulfilled, and this is a big dream for the students in this choir and yourself, what do they need to do? How can they help out? What is the easiest way to put you guys on a plane to New York?
Well, I mean, they can contact me at troychoral@troy.edu if they have questions. We have a musician Facebook page that they can contact and reach out to us or follow our progress as we go through. They can go online to Troy University Foundation and in the search engine put in concert chorale, and they can give electronically or just mail me, old-fashioned, stick it in the mail. And just say, I'd like to be a sponsor for the Troy University Concert Chorale.
And it's not just individuals, and there's you've mentioned recognition. If there are any businesses or organizations that want to do this, there will be a way for them to be recognized for their philanthropy
Every time we do any kind of publicity or benefit concerts, we're just going to get their name out just to say these folks are helping us. They believe in what these young artists are trying to do.
And that's our show for this week. We hope you join us again next week for another edition of Troy Trojan Vision Weekly. Have a good week.